Good morning, girls. So it's eighth part of your proteins and the biochemical role chapter. So in previous lecture we have checked its proteins various states. So from today we are going to see its biological value. Okay. So proteins give amino acids on hydrolysis during digestion, and these amino acids are absorbed in the blood. Okay. So after ingestion of any kind of food material, it will go into your stomach, right? So after going into stomach, the various enzymes which are present in your stomach like pepsin, hydrochloric acid and so on, so these directly attack on your ingested food material, and it will convert its complex molecule into simpler one. So same as that of your food material, proteins are hydrolyzed into small fractions of amino acids which are digestible or which are absorbed in your bloodstream. Okay, amino acids are the building blocks required for cell to synthesize the proteins. Okay, amino acids are the basic unit or say the basic building block of protein, which are very much essential for its biosynthesis. Okay, proteins biosynthesis. Proteins are essential for vital processes, like so many processes are there, like growth, repair mechanism, immunity and all. Besides production of proteins, certain amino acids are required for the synthesis of important metabolites such as tryptophan, required for the synthesis of serotonin. Okay, so apart from its main role, that is for energy production, it is having so more roles. Okay, so the first role after that main role is it is required for synthesis of another amino acid. They have given over here one example. So tryptophan is precursor molecule for synthesis of serotonin, and similarly histamine is used for histamine is formed from histidine. So histidine is the precursor or say starting material which is required to produce histamine. uh, yes, histidine is required for production of histamine. These are the chemical reaction which shows how 5-HT, that is 5-hydroxytryptamine, that is serotonin, is formed with the help of tryptophan. So tryptophan after hydroxylation and decarboxylation yields serotonin. Second example they have given histidine. So histidine after decarboxylation provide us histamine. So after this we are going to see biochemical importance of proteins. So biochemical importance is what? Its role in your body, how our body react with protein material. Okay, so protein play very important role in cell mediated immunity, and the antibodies, hemoglobin and all other molecules are prepared from protein. Basically, it is present all over your body. Protein is one of the most important component of your diet. It is required to maintain growth and healthy functioning of the body. So, we'll see its classification now. Complete proteins and incomplete proteins. So, complete protein means all the essential amino acids are present in it. Okay, and incomplete proteins means what? Not all essential amino acids are present in that protein. So this protein is called as incomplete protein. Complete protein examples are milk protein like casein and all, and egg. And incomplete protein are having example like gelatin, zein of maize, etc. Thus, our body needs complete protein rather than incomplete proteins, because it is having a higher biological value, because it is only essential amino acids to your body, and we all know that our body require only essential amino acid for various mechanisms happen in our body, rather going for non-essential amino acids. So basically, dietary proteins are utilized by body to synthesize new proteins such as enzymes, transport proteins, structural proteins, or body proteins are diverted for the production of energy. What they have said over here, whatever food we consume, whatever diet we have taken is utilized for production of enzymes, transport proteins, structural proteins. Okay, so and defense protein also. But under certain conditions, dietary proteins, like I have explained earlier, are converted or diverted for production of energy. Okay, so after that, we'll see what happen if protein deficiencies arises. There are three main diseases which are occurred due to insufficient amount of protein in a body. These are first kwashiorkor, second marasmus, and third one is uh, what? Yes, nutritional edema. First of all, see what is meant by protein deficiency. We know that proteins are required for several vital processes in the body. Naturally, a low intake of proteins results in deficiency symptoms. Such conditions that are developed may be due to low dietary intake or malfunctioning of the body, such as malabsorption and non-convergence. Okay, some people are consuming the proteins, or some people are consuming very high amount of junk food or fast food than fibers and fruits. Okay, but what happen after some ages, they are becoming deficient in these uh, very important proteins. Okay, and what happen if this arises, they may be came under deficiency symptoms. Okay, or they may show deficiency symptoms, right? So dietary intake or malfunctioning of body is the result of your insufficient amount of protein eating. Okay, so we'll discuss now protein deficiency diseases. Next thing is nutritional edema. It results from the long continuation of deprivation of proteins and usually occurs in famine areas. Okay, so nutritional edema is what the hut area or say the famine areas, the people who are suffering from this kind of nutritional edema are from that society. Okay, the protein deficiency in adults is very rare. See, adults are not required protein as much as that of your children, because in children's their body is progressing one, right? They require protein for their growth and repair, right? But in adult our growth is already finished, right? So we doesn't require much more quantity of protein as that of children's. The deficiency symptoms in adults include loss of weight, reduced subcutaneous fat, anemia, greater susceptibility to infection, frequent loose stools, and generate the lethargy, incapacity to sustained hard work, delay in healing wounds, and edema. Okay, so what happened in nutritional edema? If this kind of edema is happened to adult men or adults, what these following symptoms are seen. So loss of weight is there. Okay, due to malnutrition there is no any kind of weight gain. Okay, reduced subcutaneous fat, we are not providing fatty lipid substances or carbs from diet, that's why their fat or subcutaneous fat is reduced. Also anemic one, the patients are anemic one because they are not we are not providing them any kind of folic or ferrous, right? Folic acid or ferrous, right? Greater susceptibility to infection. See, as proteins are indirectly supporting our immune system, if nutritional edema is happened, that time what happened, the protein level get decreased and our body is more susceptible for any kind of infection, our immunity gets suppressed. Okay, so frequent loose stools will be there. Okay, also it generate the lethargy, some tiredness and all the things, right? Again, incapacity to sustain hard work. Okay, we are not able to do any kind of hard work or physical work if we are suffering from nutritional edema. Delay in healing wounds and edema also. Okay, so use of soya bean, milk and eggs and other measures appropriate to symptoms will prevent or cure the protein deficiency syndrome in adults. If we are providing complete protein to the patient who are suffering from this kind of diseases like marasmus, kwashiorkor or nutritional edema, okay, so they may be revertible one. So complete protein means the protein which only contain essential amino acids in it. Okay, if we are providing, they may be revertible. Okay, so example of it are milk, eggs, soya bean, etc. So deficiency of protein shows different changes in body, like the liver loses proteins rapidly and prolonged protein deficiency can cause permanent damage to large number of liver cells resulting in necrosis. See, if our liver is not able to sustain the proteins, then what happened, deficiency or protein deficiency will be there, and it will, if we are not going to treat this, okay, it will lead to severe condition, that is it will lead to liver necrosis, damage of that liver cell, hepatic cells. It is also observed that plasma albumin levels get fall. Okay, what happened if the nutritional edema happen to patient, our plasma albumin levels also get falls. Okay, so this is all about your proteins and biochemical, their biochemical role chapter. Okay, so in today's lecture we have discussed about biological importance of proteins. Okay, for which purpose we are utilizing proteins. Okay, nextly we have discussed biochemical importance of proteins. Okay, biochemical means chemistry and biology, right, or biosystem, that is living system. So in that we have seen its classification as a complete protein and incomplete protein. Okay, after that we have seen protein deficiency diseases. Okay, so in protein deficiency diseases we have mainly discussed here marasmus, kwashiorkor and nutritional edema. Okay, now it's time to conclude the session. So summary of this chapter: proteins are essential for all vital processes. They are structural component of protoplasm, cells and tissues. See, after knowing all the things about proteins, we are came to know that proteins are really very much essential part of our body, or very much essential need of our body, right? Because as it is having so many functions to do in your life or in your body, so it shows different it is involved in different processes like structural component of protoplasm of our cell. Okay, again tissues likewise, right? So enzyme, hormones and antibodies are also proteinous in nature. The very vital components which are present in our body are also made up of that protein, like enzymes, again antibody molecules, again your hormones which are present in your body, these are also proteinous in nature. Deficiency of proteins diet causes several diseases. This is the conclusion or summary of your chapter. Below this chapter they have given some important questions, so just go through it. Okay, this is all about your chapter. So in this chapter we have seen so many components, like we have started this chapter from introduction to protein. Again we have seen its composition. Basically proteins are made up of amino acids, so we have seen here amino acid and its structure. So amino acid are the acids which contain two main functional group. First is amine function and second one carboxylic group. Third valency of carbon contains any group and fourth valency is always having hydrogen. So basically amino acid is having a chiral carbon, that's why it possesses optical activity. After that we have discussed classification of amino acid. Classification which is based upon aliphatic amino acid, aromatic amino acid, again acidic amino acid and their amides, again basic amino acids, sulfur containing amino acids, hydroxyl group containing amino acids, amino acids. Amino means what? There is presence of NH2. Okay, double bond NH, right? After that we have seen classification which is based upon their structures: aliphatic, aromatic, acidic, basic, sulfur containing, hydroxyl